Chapter 9 The Call. And then she goes, I'm a very dedicated girl. I made Mark, causing Gayla to screw up her nose in disgust. Jesus, could she get any more desperate? Laughed Gayla. It was gross. Well, Jen is known best for what she does in the sheets, laughed Gayla, causing me to suffer. Gayla! I yelled, shaking my head. What? She snickered. Matthew told me all about their special night last week. I grinched, groaning. I really didn't want to know, and that doesn't make me feel any better about Dylan, knowing that his assistant is a well known sex goddess. Kayla smiled, wrapping her arm around my shoulder as we strolled through the grounds. You know Dylan wouldn't touch her. He's find his mate. I swagged. I signed, dropping my glance, wrapping my arms around myself as the cold wind chilled me to the bone. My thin brown Kardashian being a bad choice considering it was the middle of winter. His friends were the ones who said he didn't do relationships. How, how do I know that I'm going to change him? You know, my dad told me he was a huge man whore before he met my mother, but finding his mate changed things. He knew he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. I wish I could say the same for my parents. Mumbled, I mumbled, causing Gia to sign. Your dad will find her soon. I know it, assured Gayla, making me roll my eyes. Gayla, the only time he leaves the park grounds is to go to work. I doubt he'll bump into a girl anytime soon, I laughed. Then we'll set him up, exclaimed Gayla, her eyes lighting up. Wada, no way! We are not setting my dad up. Oh, come on! He needs to find the love of his life. I signed, shaking my head. He already did, Gia. My mother. Okay, we can talk about it another time, replied Gia, gesturing down the hill. There it is. I peeped down the slot, the small one bedroom cabin coming into view. The dull light flickering in the dark. It looked so peaceful being located just far enough away from the hustle and bustle of the pack, allowing for some privacy. I hope Alpha Paul hasn't got any guards watching, I mumbled, showing on my bottom lip nervously. Gia laughed, rolling her eyes. You just tell them that Dylan is your mate. They can't keep the two they can't keep the two of you away from each other. You're right, I agreed, nodding, urging my legs to move but appearing frozen in place. I'm freezing to death, Clara. Go and tell me everything later. Gia called Gia as she stepped backwards, waving at me as she quickly made her way back to her house, causing me to take in a large gulp of air in attempt to calm myself. I was unsure of what I was going to say to Dylan, but I was hoping that the conversation would flow nicely and we could finally spend some time getting to know each other. I scrolled down the hill, being careful not to slip, making my way towards the homely wooden cabin, attempting to brush my hair down flat, knowing it looked messy from the crisp wind. My heart was beating out of my chest, and I could feel my wolf howling within me at the thought of seeing our mate again. Once I reached the front door, the scent of musk and vanilla whiffed up my nostrils, causing me to sign happily out loud. The aroma calming me and making me feel at ease. But there was another scent making its way through the air, taunting my mate's beautiful one. I scrunched up my nose. I scrunched my nose up, clearing my throat as I bring my hand up to the rusty wooden door, preparing to knock. Suddenly, the door flung open and Jen appeared in the doorway, holding a tray with empty bowls and plates balanced on it, her eyes wide with shock. You scared me, she hissed, squirming her eyes at me. What are you doing here? Alpha Dylan isn't taking visitors. Didn't Alpha Paul make that clear? I studied Jen. Her amber hair pulled up messily into a neat ponytail. Slick, her ear trailing down her back. Her soft pulp lips were covered in a thin layer of glass, and her eyelashes were long and thick, her doll like eyes appearing even larger. Hello, are you even listening to me? Asked Jen, snuffling at me. No, I replied, raising my eyebrows at her, refusing to allow her to stop me from seeing my mate. Jen snuffled, rolling her eyes. Well, you need to leave. You look desperate, and frankly, it's embarrassing. I growled, my inner wolf not enjoying the way Jen was speaking to me. You were just leaving, weren't you? I snuffled. Jen turned, her ponytail wolf whacking me in the face, causing me to step back. Alpha Dylan, I'm so sorry about her. She's just. It's fine, my mate responded, stepping into my view, watching me attentively, his brows flickering as he noticed my shivering frame. I'll escort her back to where she belongs. Don't worry, Alpha Dylan. She won't bother you, said Jen, glancing up at my mate longingly. Maybe I want to be bothered, replied Dylan, a small smile making its way onto his face. You were just leaving, weren't you, Jen? Well, yes, I was going to go and wash these dishes, but I was thinking that maybe you and I could relax and have a drink, suggested Jen furiously, batting her long lashes. That will be all, Jen, said Dylan, his eyes locked with mine, causing Jen to flicker her brows before quickly composing herself, nodding and squeezing past me, making her way away from the cabin, but not before shooting me a glance. Hi, I mumbled, flimbling with the sleeves of my Kardashian nervously, smiling to myself as I replayed what had just happened in my head, enjoying Jen's failed flirting. You're cold. Come in. I knocked, closing the door behind me. After stepping into the cabin, the sudden warmth overwhelming my body, causing pins and needles to spread throughout my fingertips and toes due to the dramatic temperature change. She's fun, I mumbled, raising my eyebrows at Dylan, causing him to chuckle. Come here, said Dylan, aesthetically, pulling me to him, his protective arms wrapping around me, pulling me closer to his muscular chest, causing sparks to spread throughout my body. Dylan shifted, clearly noticing my arousal as he pulled back, grabbing my chin gently, smiling down at me. You do know we have about 10 minutes before Jen snitches, and Alpha Paul marches down here himself to forcefully remove me from this cabin, I joked, causing Dylan to roll his eyes. I guess I'm not getting paid then, he replied, smirking. Why didn't you just tell him? You'll understand that we're mates, I asked. I'll mention it when I see him. However, he's going out of town for a few days. Does he have a mate? I've noticed you don't seem to have a Lona or Leah, asked Dylan. I shook my head. She was killed out on a run when I was young. I don't remember her. Dylan nodded, watching me attentively as he looked me up and down, making me blush. This cabin is cute. I used to come here all the time with Gia and Matthew when we were young. It really hasn't changed since then, I said, making my way over to the window, taking the small cloth current in my fingers, studying them. Matthew, asked Dylan, his eyebrows raising slightly. I shook my head, chuckling. He's just a friend. I haven't seen him in a while, though. He's a fighter, actually, so you probably train him this evening. How did that go, anyway? Dylan stood up, swagging. Your fighters lack discipline. At the moment, it all seems like a bit of a free-for-all. However, the females tend to listen better than the men. That's because they're all so mesmerized by you, I laughed. You need to meet Matthew properly, though. He's actually really good. Suddenly, I was interrupted by the buzzing of my phone in my pocket. I rolled my eyes, expecting it to be Gia, knowing she was probably desperate to know what was going on. I flickered my brows as I glanced down at the phone, not recognizing the number. Hello? I spoke, holding my phone up to my ears. A chill raked my body as I listened closely, waiting for a voice, but all I could hear was heavy breathing.